Hi, I'm Kathy Mills from Short Film Edits, and I'm here with Michael Vaccaro for an interview today. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Could we start this with you telling us a little bit about you?
Oh my goodness. Well, actors hate to talk about themselves. Um,
Mm.
so I'll try my best. Let's see. I was born and raised in New York City in a borough called the Bronx. Lots of famous people
Yeah.
come from the Bronx. Al Pacino comes from the Bronx, and um, Anne Bancroft comes from the Bronx. I could sit here and probably talk about the Bronx for a whole hour, but I won't. So I was born and raised in New York City, in the
Mhm.
Bronx, and then I spent a few years in the Bronx, and then we moved into Manhattan, which was a big deal,
Mm.
moving into the big city.
Yeah.
Although Bronx, but I have really fond memories of the Bronx now.
Mm.
Now as an adult, very much so an adult. I have very fond memories of the Bronx, and every time I go back to New York City, I always try to make a Bronx day
Yeah.
and go up to the Bronx. So anyway, so that happened many, many, many years ago, many decades and decades and decades ago, and I was a child actor. I started working as an actor in New York City when I was about I think I got my first professional job when it was something like I was 8 years old, something like that.
Mm. That's good.
So I have been doing this my entire lifetime, my whole entire life,
Mm. Well, you
my
must love
long
it,
life.
otherwise you wouldn't do it for that long.
I do love it.
Yeah.
I actually do love it.
Mm.
I was just talking to some friends the other day. I was actually at a party with
Mhm.
some of my vertical pals, and
Yeah.
um, we were talking about. I was talking about how there are sometimes these great moments when you are working as an actor, when you're performing either on stage or in front of a camera, and all of a sudden you sort of lose yourself, and you are the character. You are so present in the moment that you forget who you are, you forget your lines. I mean, you still say your lines, but you're not thinking about them. They just sort of come out.
Yeah.
and and to me, when those moments happen, it's almost like a spiritual thing. It's like the most connected to the universe that I ever feel. So that's a long way of saying, yeah, I love, love, love what I do.
That's good. So what actually drew you to the vertical space?
Oh gosh. Well, as you may know, things are um, things are a little difficult here in Hollywood the last few years.
Mm.
We had COVID, and then we had a SAG strike, which is the Screen Actors Guild, and then we had a writers strike, and then we had these terrible fires in the Pacific Palisades. And so all of these factors, and probably many others as well, sort of all came together. And it's been really difficult for actors to get work, for anybody in the industry to get work here in Los Angeles. Everything has, not everything, but it looks like the majority of things have actually moved out of Los Angeles. So then these verticals showed up, right? And I think we all just sort of jumped at the idea of like possible steady work.
Yeah.
And and again, I heard about them, and I jumped in, and I believe that my first vertical was probably sometime in like very late 2023 or early 2024, maybe January of 2024. And I've been doing them ever since.
Yeah. Yeah. The first one I saw you in was Duke with Benefits.
To benefit, yes.
Yeah.
Right, that was one of the first ones I did. I did a few
Yeah.
before that one, but Dukes with Benefits. I believe that was directed by Daniel Russell, who's a great director of all kinds of things, commercials and music videos and verticals. And I believe, let me think, see if I can remember. Sarah Molesky was in that one,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Mayor Mulroney was in that one,
Yeah.
and I think I just came on there like a small like a cameo or something like that.
Well, you were
I'm not a
two parts in that one.
I
Yeah.
was yeah, right. I remember when they asked me to do that, I was like, "You want me to play two different characters in this thing?" And
Mm-hmm.
they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
just do it. I was like, "Sure, okay, whatever,
Yep.
absolutely." Those things that actually is fun for me. Like it was really that was a
Mm.
really fun shoot. I remember. I'm one of those people who is, I mean, people might find this unprofessional, but I am always laughing or trying to make people laugh on set. I
Yeah.
like to go there and enjoy myself, and I like to improv, and I like to sort of, see how far I can go with stuff. So that one was a
Mm.
really fun set, and Daniel was great because Daniel basically let me do whatever I wanted. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that is absolutely crazy that never made it into
Yeah.
that. That's sitting on somebody's laptop somewhere. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I just had an interview with Ryan, and that was the first one I saw him in as well. So yeah, that
right.
was
Oh
fun.
my gosh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, I liked that one.
I think I've done two with Ryan.
Hmm.
I think.
I don't know the other one. Well, I can't think of it right now.
Or maybe it's three actually. Maybe it's three. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, you've done a lot of 48-hour film projects. What's one that really pushed you creatively?
Oh, well, when you do stuff like that, you have to be pushed creatively because I mean, you're literally like there's like a literal gun against your head, and you have to do this thing and you have to get it done. Um, but there's something really exciting about that experience. To just I will tell you that I actually did a what was even more exciting than the 48-hour film stuff. I did when I was in New York City, I did a 24-hour musical.
Oh,
Yeah, which means that because I come from a musical background, I did musical theater for many, many years in New York City. So the 24-hour musical is absolutely bananas. You audition at 11 o'clock at night. They have
hmm.
auditions from 11 until midnight. And then at midnight, they tell everybody who got cast and who didn't get cast. So then you go home, you go to sleep. You sleep from 12 until 8 in the morning. And during that time, the writers, the composers, the person who writes the book, everybody who's writing this musical, they write a full musical from midnight until 8 in the morning. And then you show up that morning for rehearsal and you show up from 8 and I mean you rehearse from 8 in the morning until 8 at night. And
Hmm.
then you put on this musical off book in front of a live audience. And
Wow.
it was the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life.
But I'm
Um,
sure very exciting as well.
very, very exciting. And
Yeah.
when it's done, when that curtain comes down and the show is over, I mean, you literally just like pass out on the floor.
Like
Right.
relief.
Because you're so tense and your body is so
Mm.
filled with adrenaline that you just crash. But yeah, it was. I love. Again, I have such fond memories of being in New York City and of course doing theater, which is still the thing that I love the most. Um,
Yeah.
but the 48-hour movies are similar in that you gotta get this stuff done so that all this footage can get in front of an editor and an editor can do it and then somebody has to score it and then like it's absolutely crazy. But
Yeah.
and we're all insane, I believe.
Small parts. Okay. How do you adjust your performance style between theatre, film, and TV?
I mean, for me, the only adjustment I have to make is for film and TV. You just have to make things smaller. I tend to have a big personality, and again, because I come from theater, in theater, one of the things is, as we all know, is like you have to reach the last row, whether you're singing or tap dancing or like doing a play. You know, things are big. Oftentimes, people in the back row, they can't really see your face or they can't really see your expression. So you have to like catapult those things right to the last row.
Yeah.
And again, that was my training in theater. So I tend to be pretty big. And in life, like I said, I think I have
Mhm.
a big personality. I never shut up. As you already know, in the last 10 minutes of this interview, I never shut up. Um, so when I get in front of a camera, of course, the emotions are all the same. I just have to pull everything back. And
Mm,
everything, when you're in front of a camera, everything is right here. So the
yeah,
camera really sees what's actually going on in your head. It actually sees your brain, the wheels in your head turning. Um,
yeah.
and the note that I get the most from pretty much all the directors that I work with is like, Michael, that was great, but let's
Hmm.
bring it down like
Yeah.
50%.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, I think it all comes out in the end pretty good. Um,
Yeah. Well,
but
that's good.
who
I
knows?
like
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah, it does. It does. What's one risk you've taken in your career that really paid off?
Oh, wow. Um, so I think I'm going to give you a twofold answer. One is I happen just to believe in general that all risk pays off.
Mhm. Yeah.
So what that means is that even if you take a risk, and even if you fail, you have taken a risk, you have taken a leap of faith, which only makes you, I think, a better person, certainly a stronger actor. Um, I think life is really all about risk, not just as an actor, not just in the theater or in film, whatever. In relationships, in love relationships, in friendships, jobs, like all kinds of stuff. Risk is part of life, and I am a big advocate of taking risks. And I actually love spontaneous things. I also love change. There's this great thing that I remember hearing years ago that moving, like when people move, it's one of the most traumatic experiences that people can have, right? Because they're leaving their apartment and they're going to another apartment or a house, whatever it is, and most people find that traumatic. And I love that. I love
Mhm.
stuff like that. Like my goal right now, in fact, is I'm trying to. I shouldn't say this. Nobody's listening. Um,
Maybe.
but I'm trying to move to Europe. I want to move to Europe because I
Oh,
want like the next, 2 or 3 decades that I have left, whatever it is. I want to do something completely new, something completely different. I want to
yeah.
learn a new language. I want to be in a new culture. Um, just because I love that. It just keeps your
Yeah.
brain like fresh,
Yeah.
right? So, but to answer your question, um, coming to Los Angeles was a huge thing for me. When
Yes.
I moved out to Los Angeles, I didn't know anybody here. I just
Mm.
decided I had grown up in New York. I had done tons of theater for years and years and years, which I loved. But I also thought, there's more to do. And I wanted to do film and I wanted to do TV, and LA at that time was definitely the place to be. So I just said, okay, I'm going. And I moved to Los Angeles. And again, I didn't know anybody. And now, of course, Los Angeles is my home.
Yeah.
And I love it here. And I love all the people that I've met and all my dear, dear, dear friends who are here. And I also
Mm.
love the work that I get to do here. There's just much more
Absolutely.
work here as far as film and TV, or at least there was, um,
Mm.
rather than in New York City. So yeah, I feel like that
Yeah.
definitely paid off for me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've moved state before, which absolutely terrified me at the time,
Yeah,
but I definitely don't regret it now. I mean, I
right.
ended up moving back to where I am originally from, but that move for a few years changed me as a person. So I'm glad I took that risk. And yeah.
That's the thing. It really does change you as a person. There is this
Mm.
crazy statistic that the majority of Americans, like so over 50% of Americans don't have passports.
Yeah, I don't have a passport.
And so if you don't, then you don't get to see, again, like other cultures, other people. You don't get to hear other languages, experience other food and all kinds of stuff. To see how the rest of the world is. You know,
Mm.
Americans especially are isolated, um, and I think in a bubble. And so which is one of the reasons why I love to travel so much. I will go anywhere. If somebody out there wants to buy me a ticket to anywhere, I will
Yeah.
go. I just
Yeah.
love traveling. I love waking up in Paris or or Rome or someplace. I mean, there's so many places in the world that I want to go.
Yeah. I never had the travel bug when I was younger. Like
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to go anywhere. I was like a homebody. But now that
Yeah.
I've had my children and like I'm, a little bit older, now I want to go places, but now I'm restricted as to where and how far I can go. So it's kind of, yeah. But I'm hoping to get to LA next year. Fingers crossed. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Come to Verticon next
that's
year.
the plan. That's the
That's the
plan.
plan. Yay. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What has been your most rewarding role so far?
These are tough questions. Um, my most rewarding role is something that I created myself
Hmm.
some years ago, way before the verticals. I had never written anything before, but I had this idea for a TV series. And so I wrote it. And again, having never written anything before, but I I just had this idea and I got in front of my laptop and I sat down and I started writing it because I knew I had to like sort of get it out of me.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a miraculous experience because I've once it was done, like once I finished writing it, I almost felt like it wasn't me who wrote it. Like I didn't write it. It was almost like it was channeled. Like
Yeah.
this story was somewhere out there in the ether, and it just came into my head, and it came out of my fingers onto the laptop,
Hmm.
and I really loved it. And so, but then it was done. I wrote it, and it was done. I was like, oh God, I can't just let it sit there on my computer or in my desk drawer or whatever. So I thought I have to do something with this, and I tried to get it out there to different networks and stuff like that, and that didn't work. So eventually, I thought I'm just going to do this myself. I'm just going to produce this
Hmm.
myself. So it's a really long story, which I won't get into, but I ended up going out and finding financing, and I had went out and found a film crew, and I hired a bunch of actors, and I ended up doing this show, which I then sold to Amazon, and it's still on Amazon, and we ended up doing 5 seasons of it.
That's
It's a show.
amazing.
Yeah, it was the whole thing was really amazing and it taught me so much, not only about the industry that I work in, but it taught me so much about myself. Um,
Mm.
and I think the greatest lesson I learned from the whole thing was that you don't know how to do something, okay, well, who cares? Just do it anyway. You'll learn, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm slightly intelligent. I thought I could figure this, I'll figure it out. And I did. And the great thing about it was that, of course, I was in it. I wrote it for myself, essentially. And
Yeah.
it's a sitcom. It's called Child of the 70s. It's also up on YouTube. All 5 seasons are up on YouTube, and it's on Amazon Prime, I believe. And so it was, and in my head, when I first got this idea, I wanted to populate the cast with all of the uh, TV stars who I watched on television growing up in the 70s.
Hmm.
And I had a list of all the people who I wanted in the show. And I ended up getting almost all of them. Like
Oh,
amazing
fantastic.
people. Like I got Susan Olsen, who played Cindy Brady on the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
And I got Ted Lange, who played Isaac, the bartender on The Love Boat. And I got the original cowboy from the Village People. I got a woman named Donna Pescow who was in Saturday Night Fever, and she had a TV show in the '70s called Angie. Um, the list just goes on forever.
Yeah.
So I was able to work with all these people who I idolized my whole life in a
That's
show
awesome.
that I was in. I was acting with these people. I had created it. I wrote it. It was incredibly rewarding and an experience that I would never, ever, 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 take back.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to go have a look at that now.
All right. I hope you like it.
Yes. Okay. Are there any creative mediums that you would like to explore? Like any other creative mediums that you'd like to explore?
I don't know if this constitutes other, but uh, I certainly would love to. I would love to direct a film.
Mm.
I um, I have back in New York, back in the day, I directed some theater, but I would love to direct a film. I think
Yeah.
that would be like a really great experience. Something that I would love to do. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else. I love writing and I love acting, and I think directing would be fantastic. I have absolutely no desire to do anything behind the scenes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I never
Yeah.
have like back in again in New York when you're training in New York, one of the things they always emphasize is that you should learn how to be a stagehand, you should learn how to be a
Mm.
dresser backstage, you should learn how to do lights and how to do sound. And I was like, I'm not interested. Um,
Mm.
all I wanted to do was act. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, directing I think would be a really really fantastic thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think, going behind the scenes, I don't think you need to like want to have to do it, but I think having a little bit of knowledge as to what they do would be vital.
You are correct, and I'm an idiot, right? Because I
No.
didn't do that.
No, no. But I just think it would help if you understand them more. Like if you're going, okay, well, I just see them as a camera person, but what is it exactly that they do? Like how hard is it for them? Just
Yeah.
kind of knowing that I think would really help.
No, absolutely. I think I absolutely, yes, not being facetious. I think that knowledge is essential for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What's a question you wished interviewers would ask you more often and why?
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Oh my God. Um,
I'm
all
getting
right.
ideas here.
What is the
I said
what
I'm
is a
getting ideas.
question that I wish interviewers would ask me more? Well, this is a boy, this is an interesting one. I you said before this, before we started, and I think it's okay to say this, that you weren't going to ask any personal questions. I actually don't mind personal questions, um, because I tend to be very political. I have I've lost a lot of followers over the last few years on Instagram because of my politics,
You are
which
who
is
you are.
how it goes, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
I so I don't mind talking about my personal life. I don't mind talking about politics. And again, having grown up in New York City in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and I'm a gay man, and so I was living in New York City. I believe I just turned 18 at the height of the AIDS crisis in New York.
Yeah.
I had many, 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 many friends and lovers die from AIDS, and
I'm sorry.
as oh, thank you. And now, all these many years later, I don't hear people talking about that really at all
Yeah.
in within the
Yeah.
gay community or anywhere, to be honest. Um, and I'm always interested in talking about that, what that experience was like, and the ramifications of it, and how it affected me as a person, and how it changed my life. All of those things. So I, I tend to like sort of digging in and and um, and talking about that stuff. Again, politics are a big, big, big part of my life.
Yeah.
And it always like my hurts whenever I come across people who say, "Oh, I don't know anything about politics. I don't care." It's like, okay, well,
I'm because I'm in Australia, so we're not in like the heightened of it like you guys are in America. Obviously we have our own politics here, but I, to be honest, I know some of it, but it does hurt a lot because I have a lot of friends who are also LGBT, and I'm in that spectrum too. So there you go. But like it hurts me to hear about a lot of things that are happening. So yes, I'm naive and I just try to ignore it like it's not there because then it doesn't hurt me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Of course
but
I do.
again, I'm
Sure.
in Australia, so I'm not like here is not as hard for us as it is over there for you. So,
Yeah, and
yeah.
unfortunately, I think it's getting harder with our current administration. I think it's
Mm,
just gonna get more and more treacherous as the
mm,
days go by. Um, you know, one of the many reasons why I want to move out of the country.
mm. Yeah, no, I completely understand that. That's not the first time I've heard that from friends as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All I can say is I'm sending you lots of strength through all that, and hopefully you get to move and be happy and
Well,
comfortable.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm actually a very happy person, and
Yes.
so I tend to be happy wherever I am.
Yeah,
That's just a choice,
that's
I
good.
think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think again, going someplace else and
Mm.
learning, having a whole new life would be really kind of amazing. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah. So when I said I didn't go into personal questions, I don't directly ask them myself, but I do ask the question, is there anything you want us to know about you or your work? Which then gives you the opportunity to share whatever you like. So it's up to you how much you share with us. So is there anything you want us to know?
gotcha. I can tell you, sure, some things. I was. Um, this is so funny. When people hear this, they're like, "What?" I was married three times.
Mhm.
I've been married three times, and two, since we were just talking about it, two of my husbands died of AIDS, and um, the of course, the experience of that sort of changes you as a person. When you're when you go through something like that, it's this a sort of real tragic event. You
Yeah.
just sort of change as a person. Um, and this is so interesting because it's really weird. I was just having this conversation with somebody maybe yesterday about what that experience was like. Having two of my husbands die, and there was something that I learned, something that I realized, which which I can share with you. Having gone through that experience, ultimately, I think it made me a better person, not just a different person, but a better person. And I will tell you that I experienced a tremendous amount of guilt when I first started feeling this, or when this idea sort of first kind of got into my head. The I so, Meaning like the idea. Oh, so my husband had to die in order for me to be a better person. Well, that's terrible. Um, but then I realized that's not the case. My husband's They did die, and um, which we all do. We're all going to do it one day, right?
Yeah.
Um, and but having gone through that experience and having been with them, I was with both of them as it actually happened. Um, it made me a different person, and it made me a better person. It made me a more compassionate person. It created more empathy for me. Um,
Mm.
and this might sound terrible, but I absolutely believe it made me a better actor. Because since that happened, I do feel like sort of my emotions are like right below the surface, and
Yeah.
they are easily accessible to me now, whereas maybe they weren't before. Um,
Mm.
and I hope to actually one day sort of write a book about this, not only just growing up during the AIDS crisis, um, but being with two of my husbands as they were dying. Um, because I think it just taught me so many powerful things about life and about myself, and about actually what we are, like what we are. One of the things that this may not make any kind of sense at all, but one of the things I realized was that when I was holding my second husband as he was dying. And when he died, it all of a sudden became so clear to me that he was not this person who was in my arms. He was not this body, this shell, that he had gone. He was off somewhere else. He had left and was on whatever adventure he was going to go on. And um and so it just broadened my horizons so much. Um and yeah, I think I should write a book about it one day. No, there's a
Well,
lot of
it's
information on
definitely
it.
definitely a tearjerker, damn it. So
Oh,
thank you for sharing that with me.
sure. Of course.
Thank you. And I think that that would make a beautiful book.
Maybe one day we'll see. Yeah.
You're the
I'd like to
first
try.
person to make me tear up on an interview. Damn it.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Anyway,
That was not my
well,
intention, but
no, that's okay. But I'm sorry. But thank you for sharing that with me.
of course. And thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to something funny now. What's the
Okay.
funniest moment on set for you?
The funniest moment that I've had on set.
Mm,
Oh boy. Again, that's a tough one because, like I said, I tend to get on a set and I just start my big personality walks into the room, it's onto the set,
mm,
and I just start talking and I start joking and I improvise all kinds of stuff. I just finished shooting a vertical with Mark Vega. You know Mark?
mhm. Yeah.
And Mark Vega is, I think, 9 or 10 feet tall, something like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I am, on a good day, I'm about 5'8". And so for an entire week and a half or whatever it was on that set, um, I just could not stop laughing at the height disparity between the two of us. And I was playing his father, which was ridiculous. Um, but uh, But the funniest, oh my God, that's so hard. Um, I can just tell you, I don't know if I can find the funniest, but I will tell you that anytime I'm on a set with Sarah Molisky,
Mhm.
it's trouble. It is absolute, like, just we were on one set once, and she was playing a woman in a coma, right? And I was the doctor, and so it was a heavy scene. It was a heavy dramatic scene. And I guess I was giving the bad news to her family that, she wasn't going to come out of the coma or something like that. And we literally could not stop laughing. We just, it was impossible for us to stop laughing. And the director, who was started to get pissed, um, he, he literally he put the blanket over her face so that, like,
Mhm.
maybe he thought maybe that'd shut her up. Um, but it didn't. So she kept
Mhm.
laughing underneath the blanket, and then and finally, this was, I think, the only time ever in one of these where the director was like, "Listen, guys, we have to go. Come on,"
Yeah.
which I felt bad about. But yeah, I
Mm,
always have a ridiculous time with Sarah Molisky.
mm,
Also, there are definitely people who I love working with. I loved working with Mark Vega. I love
mhm.
working with Sarah. I love working with Noah Fernley.
I love Noah. Yeah.
No, Noah is great. And again, we definitely do a lot of laughing. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know if I can think of the funniest, but I will just tell you that I know this is stupid, but, like, again, all of the sets that I'm on, I am always having a fun time. Even if it's like I said, even if it's some, like, crazy heavy drama.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. But we're happy to know that because we're happy to know what we see on screen, even if it's like fully dramatic, it's not like that for you guys, and that's good for us because we don't want you feeling those things when you're doing them. Like,
I don't know.
you
Yeah, I
know,
don't know what it's like on other sets, but yeah, when I'm there, I
yeah.
am absolutely, like, and I drop a lot of F bombs, um,
Hmm.
which, um, because
Yeah.
because I'm from New York and I curse like a sailor, as they say. Um,
That's okay. All right. If you could star in a vertical that you would class as your perfect storyline, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I have one. I pitched an
Mm.
idea recently to someone, and I don't, to be completely honest, I don't know if I can share it.
That's okay.
Um, but I did have this idea, and I pitched it to a director, and I'm it's sort of in the process now of writing an outline for a treatment for it, which myself and this director are going to go to some of the apps and see how they feel, see if they would be interested in it. It is a comedy,
Oh, yes, we want
and
that.
it is a comedy, which of course is still my favorite thing.
Yeah.
It's always going to be my favorite thing to do. It is a comedy, and it has how do I put this? It has LGBTQ elements in it.
Brilliant. Yep.
They don't do. There have not been a whole lot of gay verticals, gay or lesbian
No.
verticals. Um, and I I don't know. I think there was one or two maybe gay rom-coms.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, there's a
but
few.
I have this idea, which again I'm trying to work on, for a vertical that is an outright full-on comedy, not even a rom-com, a full-on
Hmm.
just comedy with some LGBTQ plus stuff in it.
I
So we'll
want it.
see.
I want it.
Okay,
Yep.
I want it too.
I want it too. All right. If you could go back and play one of your characters for 24 hours just for fun, who would it be? Not, sorry, not play, be. If you could be one of your characters for 24 hours.
Well, I don't know. um, I I mean, this absolutely sounds crazy. But have you seen Game of Choice?
Not yet. No.
Okay, do you know about it? Do you know, have
Yes.
you?
Yes.
Okay, so Game of Choice came out last month.
Yeah.
It's on Tall Flicks.
Mhm.
It's sort of like it's reminiscent of Squid Games.
Yes. Yeah.
It is a tremendously intense show.
Yeah.
Like reviews have been great. I can't, you have to, when you watch it, you
Mm.
have to let me know what you think. You'll have to like
I
write to me or
will.
something and let me know what you think. Because
Okay.
so far, like all of the reviews that I've read and the comments and stuff like that have been really great. So in
Mhm.
it, I play a priest in it,
Yeah.
and there's no comedy at all.
Hmm.
No comedy, nothing funny. Um, Again, very intense, violent. Um, and as an actor, it was, I was going to say probably, but it was certainly the most challenging role that I've had in a vertical.
Mm.
And I know that this sounds crazy, but I would love to go back to that character. He was such an interesting guy. He was so layered. You don't usually get to play parts like this, especially in verticals, because they're very formulaic, you know.
Yeah.
Um, And when the roles that I play in verticals tend to be, I do either do one of two things. I'm either the old angry CEO, I'm
Mm.
Jared Harper's father, or I'm Mark Vegas' father, or I'm, Jeff Violet's father, and I'm angry and I want them to
Hmm.
marry the girl that they don't love.
Yep.
Or I'm the crazy over the top, like hairdresser, fashion designer, So
Bartender. Yep.
those are the two roles that I play basically. So this guy, his name is Father Fox. He was completely and utterly different from anything that I've ever done, ever. It was very physical, and it was very dramatic, and it was traumatizing. The shoot, we all of us together, the lead actors we all joked about how we trauma bonded during it
Mm.
because it was a lot. It was a really heavy schedule. Um, it was hard work. But because I loved that character so much and he was so interesting and so layered and so like complicated, I would love to go back to him. Even though it was a traumatic
Mm.
experience, I would love to go back to him.
Yeah. That's fair. What are some challenges you face on set that others outside the field might not recognize?
Well, again, I'm sure all the other people that you have interviewed have said this before. that it's like these things go quick.
Mm.
You know, you're shooting maybe 20, 25 pages of dialogue every day.
Yeah.
So it just goes so fast. And you have to be present. And even though I'm like messing around all the time, I still, I have to be present and I have to get the lines out. I have to get the words out. We get two takes, sometimes. Um,
Yeah.
and it's stressful. It's absolutely stressful. So I think people probably don't understand that. And it's long hours. Minimum, we're working 12 hours a day. Um,
Yeah.
so many years ago, again, back in New York, I was on a soap opera for a while. And that was amazing training because this was before like laptops and this was before, smartphones and all that stuff, cell phones. Um, so they would messenger you a script. You'd get, some messenger on a bicycle would knock on your door at like, 8 o'clock at night and give you a script in a big manila envelope of like 70 pages. And
Wow.
you'd have to be on set the next morning at 6 or 7 in the morning, and you'd have
Yeah.
to know your lines.
Wow.
So it really, um, it just like a muscle, just trains your brain to sort of figure out how to do that. And so again, that was many years ago, but it's still in there. So when I started doing these, and it's kind of the same thing, you get these pages and you get in 20 pages a day, and you just gotta like, okay, let's go.
Hmm.
So I'm happy for that. That training really helped me a lot. Um, but these things are again fast and difficult and stressful for everybody and long hours and nobody sleeps.
Yeah.
You know
No,
how
minimal sleep is the
when
thing.
you have to be on set at 6, which means let's say I'll have to wake up at 4 in the morning. You know,
Mm.
I you don't sleep. Even if you go to bed at like 9, you don't really sleep. You know what I mean? Because you're in the back of your head, the back of your mind is like thinking, oh my God, I can't oversleep. I can't oversleep. You know,
Yeah.
so it's not the most restful sleep. So by the time you're done with one of these things, after 6 or 7 days of a shoot on one of these things, all I want to do is sleep for a week. But then often you have one day off, maybe not even that, and then you jump onto the
Mm.
next one.
Yeah. I've heard that. A lot of people do it back to back. So they finish, they get on a plane, and then they're doing the next one. Like, yeah.
I did when I did Game of Choice, which again was a really traumatic experience in a good way.
Mm.
I think I shot on that 13 or 14 days. It was like
Yeah.
hard, and I didn't get a day off. As soon as I finished that one, the next day I jumped on another one with Jared Harper. Um, so I had no time to decompress. But that's how it is. That's, because, show business is very glamorous.
Yeah. I'm sure that you had a lovely rest after that, though.
I think I did. I think I actually ended up like luckily getting like a month off and I literally I have 2 cats and I just, laid in
Yeah.
bed every day and cuddled with my cats.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Um, could you walk us through what a day on set looks like for you?
Okay. So yeah, sure. Again, usually you start around 6 or 7 in the morning. Um, and Los Angeles is a big place, so you have to get in your car at 5 in the morning to get anywhere. So let's see. The first thing I do is absolutely get 9 cups of coffee because I'm a big coffee drinker. Um, and then you get the sides, which is basically your script for the day. It's called sides. Um, and I start like jumping in and just you go into hair and makeup. And they always spend a lot of time on my hair. They can never figure out what to do with my hair. Do they want to keep it long and curly? Do they want to slick it back and put it in a ponytail? Do they want to give me a man bun? It's
Yeah.
always a major hassle for me. Then you go into makeup and wardrobe, and then you're finally on set and you have your sides, and you again you just sort of jump in and do it, and then you work nonstop until lunch, and lunch is usually about 30 minutes, 40 if
Mhm.
you're lucky, and then you go till the end of the day, which is if I start at 6, then we are usually done by 6 at night.
Mm.
But then sometimes you do OT, you go overtime, and then you get in your car and you drive back home another hour, and then you pass out.
Yeah.
Um, One of the great things for me about doing these verticals is that I've been doing them a long time, 2 years now. I just finished number. I figured this out. Somebody asked me, and so I went and I went through all of them to see how many I've done. I just finished number 33.
Wow.
So so the point of this is that I know a lot of people, and so you get to see the same people over and over and over again. Um, Felix Murback, I've worked with him a couple of times, and Molly Anderson, I've worked with her at least 2 or 3 times, and Abigail Fawn, I've worked with a couple of times, and like I said, Sarah Moliski, like I've worked with her a
Mm.
bunch of times, and Noah, I think I've worked with Noah now 4 times, and
Mhm.
Ashley Grant, so I know everybody now, and we all know each
Yeah.
other, and now we've gotten to the point where we sort of hang out outside of like work.
Yeah.
So again, for me, going to work is always a joy-filled thing. Even if
Yeah.
I'm beat and haven't had any sleep and just look like a nightmare, it's always good for me because I always get to hang out with people who I really love and people who I
Yeah.
enjoy working with. Um, so as I say, it's stressful and it's a drudge, and it's difficult. I always riding overriding all of that is the fact that I really enjoy it. I enjoy acting, and I love all these people that I've gotten to work with and
Mm.
gotten to know.
Absolutely. No, that's fantastic. Okay, what makes a scene unforgettable for you?
Say that again. What makes what?
What makes a scene unforgettable for you?
Oh, okay. So there are many things, but um, usually what makes a scene unforgettable for me is when I really get to where I'm given something interesting to do,
Mm.
when I have to sort of access some emotion. Um, and again, because like I said, I end up playing basically the same type of characters and that sort of formulaic thing. There are moments. I just had one with Mark Vega where we had a scene together, and it was deep and it was beautiful, actually. I was playing his father, and we had a really like sort of beautiful moment between us, and it ended up being a great scene because I think we were both like really just in it, and
Mm.
I was really feeling like I was uh, like everything was there, the emotion was there, all the feelings were there, and I had a great time. I had one of those moments with Jeff Violet. We did a show together where I again played his dad. It was called The Billionaire's Matchmaker.
Yeah,
I don't know
I've
if you
seen
ever
that one.
saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I remember we had this great scene in a hospital where it was the same type of thing. We had some really interesting stuff to do. The director was really there, sort of working with us and giving us the space to breathe, which we don't really get in verticals. But this one director's
Mm.
name is Casey. He gave us a moment to like sort of really breathe into the scene and really feel what was going on, and it ended up being a great experience. I love, again, because I love acting, so I love it when I am given the space
Mm.
to actually like not just have emotions, feel emotions, but also to connect
Yeah.
with the other actor or the other actors, and have a real moment. um those are my those are my favorite things. Again, like being on the stage, it's one of those things where I feel like um I'm almost sort of outside of my body, and it becomes almost like a spiritual experience, being connected to the universe when I'm in that space and I am playing somebody else, and I get to work with other actors who are also in that same place, in that same mindset. Does that make sense?
It does, yes. Yeah. I love it when you guys get to get more creative freedom as well. You can see it. Like, yeah. It,
I mean,
it
again,
makes
because
for a
these
better
things happen.
scene.
Yeah, because these things happen so quick, it's rare that you are
Mm.
able to do that, where you have the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
where sometimes, like, again, this one director, Casey, who did Billionaires Matchmaker, um, he allowed us the time. He said, okay, well, let's do it again. Let's try it again, and let's try it a different way. Uh,
Yeah.
and because, you can take a scene and do it 50 different ways, which is
Hmm.
really fun for me. Um,
Yeah.
and when you are allowed that, when you're given that, it's a real gift.
Absolutely. I love that. That's good. Okay, I've got one more question for you. What does
Okay.
a good day on set look like for you?
Well, again, because I'm a happy person,
Hmm.
all my days on set are good. But again,
Hmm.
I will just reiterate this. It's always a good day for me on set is when I'm hanging out with people who I love,
Hmm.
and people who I trust,
Yes.
and people who people who are again of the same mindset as far as like acting goes, and like what we can do and how can we access something really fast and make it great and make it interesting, not only interesting for the audience but interesting for us.
Mhm.
But I will also be honest and tell you that a great set for me, a great day on set for me, is when the food is great.
Hmm. I've just put a post up about that.
Oh, because I'm telling you, I'm Italian. So, and I love to eat. So if I go on set, there are certain companies that have really, 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 really great food on set.
Hmm.
And I know when I get there, I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. Um, so if there's great crafty throughout the day, like really healthy
Hmm.
crafty, and then when you have lunch or breakfast or dinner, whatever it is whatever your schedule is, um, if there's good, and I'm a vegan, so if there's good
Hmm.
food on set, I am a happy person.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard so many times about the food. It's a very hot topic. So I
Oh,
went and asked the actors what healthy foods they want on set and
yeah.
then just put a post up about it. So hopefully gets the word out to some
Yeah, I want
people.
to hear.
Just
Wait a
get it
minute.
talking
Can
about it.
you do you have an example of somebody who, it's a hot topic, who said something about like food and what they said? I would love to
I don't
hear
know if
it.
I want to drop names. I don't know if I want to drop names in here, but I'll message you afterwards.
All right. I want to hear
Yeah,
it.
I'm not dropping names here. But
Okay.
yes, no, it's a very, very hot topic. And there's been a few people, just by saying that, they want you to go and show your abs and, do a workout before a scene, but they've just filled you with pizza. Like,
Right. Yeah,
it's,
sure.
yeah.
Well, I'm lucky because I don't have abs, so that's good.
But either way, I believe a healthy, crafty would make for a better day for a lot of people. So,
100%. Because when it's not, like, and I tend to just eat anyway. And so,
mm,
and because I try to eat really clean in life. And so if I'm on a set and the crafty is really just terrible, I'll still eat it, but I'll feel it.
yeah, yeah, no, I get that. Okay, well, thank you very much for having this interview with me today.
My pleasure. This went by so fast. This was fun.
Yes, it was. Um, but thank you very much, and I will talk to you again very soon.
Again, my pleasure. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the support
Thanks.
from everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay.